Lors de cette première édition d'Éléphant classique, un prix sera remis, celui de Mary Pickford. Pour ceux et celles qui ne la connaissent pas, bien vous aurez l'occasion d'en apprendre davantage. Et nul autre que Sloan DeForest qui sera là pour vous en parler. Elle est actrice, cinéphile et aussi impliquée dans cette fondation qui porte le nom de Mary Pickford. It's a pleasure to have you here, Sloan. So I read on your website that you have seen 3,000 movies.
Over 3,000, yes. I think it's about 3,007, 3,010 at this point.
My God, so that's why you're here today, right?
That's why I'm here. I love classic film. I'm here to support Mary Pickford and the Mary Pickford Foundation, and she was the first great star of either gender of films. So she's really the origin of film, of classic film, of film, modern film. It's all built upon her shoulders. So I'm happy to be here.
Are you going to stay with us for the movie after?
Yes, I'll be here for the movie, and I hope some other people come for the movie. And it's a film that we restored with the Academy, and we've also rescored it. Amazing 22-year-old musician composed the score for this film, Little Annie Rooney, which was a big hit for Mary Pickford in 1925. So we're happy to be presenting it in Montreal.
Alors bonjour, je suis Marie-Josée Raymond. Je m'occupe de Éléphant, mémoire du cinéma québécois, mais aussi cette année pour notre première édition de Éléphant classique. Et dans le cadre d'Éléphant classique, on a décidé de donner un prix à une femme du cinéma qu'on trouverait merveilleuse, exceptionnelle, que ce soit une réalisatrice, une comédienne, une directrice photo, enfin bref, un prix à une femme. Et on a décidé que le nom de ce prix-là devait être le prix Mary Pickford, parce que c'est une des grandes actrices canadiennes qui a aussi produit des films, qui s'est joint à Charlie Chaplin et d'autres pour fonder United Artists. Donc c'est une inspiration pour les femmes qui sont dans le cinéma, pour qui des fois c'est un petit peu plus difficile. Moi j'ai fait ça pendant 40 ans et puis je peux vous dire que c'est le cas des fois. Et donc on a le grand privilège aujourd'hui d'avoir Sloan DeForest qui est à la Fondation Mary Pickford, avec qui on a fait une entente pour ce prix, qui va nous proposer un film sur Mary Pickford, pour qu'on ait une petite chance de savoir qui était cette actrice exceptionnelle, parce que on connaît le nom, mais on n'a pas eu la chance très souvent de voir ces films, parce que c'est des films du début du siècle, et le fait que la Fondation Mary Pickford nous laisse présenter en avant-première un film qui vient d'être restauré par la Motion Picture Association, c'est un grand privilège et Sloan va vous parler un peu de ce film-là.
In a truth that sounds stranger than fiction, one woman had more power nearly a century ago than any woman in Hollywood today. Her name was Mary Pickford, and she was a self-made institution who shaped the landscape of cinema as we know it. She was born Gladys Smith in Toronto, Canada in 1892, just about the same time the Lumiere brothers began experimenting with motion pictures in France. But little Gladys knew nothing of motion pictures. She was a stage-struck girl who started acting professionally to support her mother, sister, and brother. After the death of her father, 7-year-old Gladys became the family breadwinner. With less than a year of school under her belt, Gladys grew up on stage, teaching herself to read and write backstage. In 1907, she took the name Mary Pickford and landed a major role in a Broadway production. Her hopes for theatrical stardom were high, but the play closed in 1909, and no jobs came her way, and her family once again struggled to survive. By this time, though, motion pictures were becoming big business. For the working classes who could not afford theater or opera tickets, movies provided cheap and instant entertainment. For respectable theater actors, though, the movies were considered the lowest depths to which one could possibly sink. 17-year-old Mary Pickford was horrified when her mother suggested that she apply for work at a movie studio. But they needed the money, so, as Mary recalled, Very reluctantly and maybe belligerently, I went into the Biograph company, hoping that they wouldn't see me enter. This was a disgrace. But someone did see Mary enter the studio. His name was D.W. Griffith, and he hired her to act in the films that he was directing. Though together they would shape the new art form of cinema, Mary often clashed with her director because she refused to overact in the larger-than-life style that was common for early silent film and insisted on giving more honest and subtle performances. At first, she'd only planned to work in motion pictures briefly until more theater work came along. But something unexpected happened. She discovered that she enjoyed the creative process of filmmaking and its creative freedom more than she had stage work. And another unexpected thing happened. Strangers began recognizing her on the street. They knew her face, but not her name. In those days, movie studios refused to credit their actors, fearing they would gain too much power and demand more money if their names appeared on screen. Incredible as it may seem today, in 1909 there was no such thing as movie stardom, until Mary Pickford came along. She fought for actors to receive screen credit and won, and she also demanded fair pay and a percentage of her film's profits. By 1915, her name lit up theater marquees across the world, and her fame skyrocketed to a level that no one had dreamed possible. Lines formed across city blocks to see her films. Advertisers used Mary's image to sell soap, hats, and calendars. She received 500 fan letters a day. Poems and songs were written about her unique charm, her long golden curls, her quaint humor, and her ability to touch the hearts of the public like no one had ever done on such a grand scale. When this Canadian lady was given the title America's Sweetheart, other countries grumbled until her nickname was upgraded to the World's Sweetheart. In 1916, a newcomer named Charlie Chaplin negotiated an unprecedented contract for $10,000 a week. Mary Pickford reacted by insisting she receive the same amount. During a time when women were still wearing corsets and discouraged from pursuing careers, Mary was demanding equal pay with men and getting it. Next, she started her own production company, hiring her own writers, directors, co-stars, and crew. Then in 1919, she shocked the industry by doing something unheard of in Hollywood, then or now. She formed her own movie distribution company, United Artists, with her fellow artists D.W. Griffith, Charlie Chaplin, and Douglas Fairbanks. 1 year before women had the right to vote in the United States, Mary Pickford, at 27 years old, wielded as much power as any studio mogul in Hollywood. Now, Mary used her power to start the Motion Picture Relief Fund, to co-found the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and to organize her own charitable foundation, the Mary Pickford Foundation, all of which are still going strong today. And in fact, if you want to learn more about the foundation and about Mary, you can visit us online at marypickford.org. In 1920, Mary Pickford married a movie star almost as rich and famous as she was, Douglas Fairbanks. When they settled in Beverly Hills, they became Hollywood's unofficial king and queen and the most famous couple in the world. Although she was a married woman, Mary's fans had always enjoyed seeing her portray scrappy young urchins and mischievous children. Well, she tried to grow up on screen by playing sophisticated adult roles, but audiences were not that impressed. So, in 1925, Mary relented and agreed to once again play the scrappy little girl that the public loved. She conceived, wrote, produced, and starred in Little Annie Rooney, a film she tailored specifically to please her fans. If you've never seen a Mary Pickford film, who here has never seen a Mary Pickford film? Anyone? Well, if you've never seen a Mary Pickford film, Little Annie Rooney gives you a good sample of Mary's repertoire, as it were. You'll see her do physical comedy, perform stunts. You'll see her as a sweet little girl and a street-fighting hoodlum. You'll see her come of age and fall in love. And you'll see her give one of the most heartbreaking, dramatic performances of her career, all in just 95 minutes. Remarkably, Mary Pickford was 33 when she made this film, but she manages somehow to blend in with her 12-year-old co-stars. Now, in the film, she's the leader of a gang, and her gang is a miniature League of Nations, a group of kids from different ethnic backgrounds who must all work together to create a happy ending. The setting's New York's Lower East Side, lovingly recreated on the backlot of Pickford Fairbanks Studios in Hollywood, California. In 2014, the Academy Film Archive and the Mary Pickford Foundation restored Little Annie Rooney from Mary's own 35mm nitrate print. Then we commissioned 22-year-old music student Andy Gladback to compose a brand new score. 90 years after the film was made, it looks and sounds better than ever. Though she would go on to win an Oscar for her first talking picture, Mary retired soon after sound came into cinema. And she's primarily remembered today as a silent star. And in Little Annie Rooney, you'll see why. She's at her best in moments of pantomime, the universal film language that requires no words, and the art form that she helped pioneer. As one critic put it, she brings a tear or a laugh with equal facility, and in her tragic moments, she is awe-inspiring. On that note, I hope you enjoy Mary Pickford in Little Annie Rooney. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Sloan. Bonne projection.